What I have here today is the Creality DryBox 2.0. I bought this because I was trying to print some TPU and I had it out, so I wasn't aware of the filament, the hygroscopic properties of it, so that it pulls in water, and I started printing out really stringy TPU. So I bought this box. I think it was like 30 or 40 bucks on Amazon. I heated it up to 55 degrees. There's like a list of the different filaments and its temperatures that would go in here. You set the time, you set the temperature, and that last 18% is the amount of humidity that it senses in the chamber. I think when I started, that was at like 40%, which I don't know if it's good or bad, but I mean, it could explain the stringing, because that was the issue I was running into with this TPU. So I'll check back in when this is done. It's got about 3 hours left, and I'll print out a sample, and this will be going in directly inside of the Qidi dry box. Now, if you don't have the dry box, there's actually a tab right here. You can open this up and feed it into whatever extruder that you have for your 3D printer. Inside from right here, you just push in the filament and it'll come outside on here, and that can go straight into your feed. So I'll check back in and we'll see how this prints once it's all nice and dry. Okay, so this is about done. I can see the temperature dropping back down. I don't know what it sets to maintain it, because I'm gonna leave it in here until I have time to move it back into the dry box. It dropped down to 15% humidity. From what I can tell, that's actually the lowest level of humidity that it can go down to. So it's going to be in here for a little bit until I have time to put it into the printer itself. Let's see what it gets to and if it just hovers around this. Alright, so I put in the TPU 95A nice and dry back into the spool, and there's no issue extruding and no issue of stringing that I was running into before. So I definitely think that the filament dryer helped. That was probably the biggest thing I did. The other thing I did was I adjusted the speed, so the not the flow speed, the extrusion speed down to 50% of what the base was. So I think it's running at like 25 millimeters a second now. So now thankfully it's not stringing and it's working pretty good. So yeah, I have my PLA in here now, not using it, so it's kind of just sitting in here. It actually didn't absorb any moisture, so I didn't run this at all for this. There's no moisture in there, but yeah, this is pretty solid. I mean, for 40 bucks, you know, I think it did a really good job. It solved my issue pretty quick. The setup is very easy, very quick, and the tools are pretty easy to use. So definitely recommend. I'll have the link in the description if anyone is interested.